everyone, today I thought I'd make a quick packing video. We are heading overseas in a couple of days, so I just thought I'll share with you all how I pack for my almost 2-year-old boy. So we will be going away for just over 2 weeks and we'll be heading to New Zealand and Gold Coast as well. Now where we are based, it gets very warm here. We get on average sort of 30 to 32 degree days, and we'll be headed to, it looks like it's going to be top of 25 degrees and sort of can get down to 19 degrees, which for us is quite cold. So for that reason I will be packing both t-shirts, shorts and long pants and long sleeves for my child, because the days in Gold Coast are going to be fairly warm. So there will be quite a bit of there will be quite a lot of packing to do. I am fortunate that where we're going to be, we will have access to a washing machine. So I've got that at the back of my mind, so I don't need to pack a lot, but I do need to factor in spare clothes for the day, and also in the event we run out of time to do washing as well. So tip number one, I always have a list. Once I've booked the flights, I'll always have a list on my phone calendar, and basically anytime something pops up in my head, I will pop it on the list. Just because on the day of packing there is a lot to try and remember, and just having a list will help you keep on track and just less likely to actually leave anything behind, or only to remember very last minute just as you are about to leave home that you've actually left something behind. So I'll just have one that's for check-in only, and then another list for carry-on. That way again on the day of packing it's just easier to actually remember what goes in which bag. So tip number two is obviously find out where you're going and see what the weather is like at the moment, and then just compare it to what your weather is where you are currently, because this is obviously going to be the climate that your child is used to. On this list so we're in an area where it's often very hot and humid, so anywhere we go, even if it's summertime in New Zealand, it's actually going to be considered a little bit cooler for us, and hence why I mentioned before that I will be packing some long sleeves and long pants for my child. So tip number three is to try and lay out everything that you're going to be packing in front of you, and that way when it comes to actually sorting it out and putting in packing cubes, you know what items go where, and also you can start checking it off your list to make sure that you have everything. Now tip number four, when it comes to packing for a toddler or especially a baby, you definitely want to bring lots and lots of terry towels. They're so versatile. They can be blankets, they'll be burp cloths if you do have a young child, and it's just really great for cleaning up mess. Also if you're going to an area where you will be going to the beach a lot, it can just be a nice, it could be a swimming towel. So very, very handy to have terry towels with you. Terry towels don't take up a lot of room and are very quick drying, so definitely worth taking more than you think you'll need, especially if you don't have access to a washing machine. They can come in very handy, and a quick hand wash is probably all you'll need. Now because we will have access to a washing machine, I'll probably only be bringing 2 to 3 terry towels, and that will be enough for our trip. Now my next tip is to bring enough wet bags. I love wet bags and I use them all the time. They're machine washable and they can act as a swimming bag. They can be a bag for you to pop snacks in. We use cloth nappies at home, so when we're out and about they're perfect to pop our soiled nappies. And we'll be going out to the beach quite a fair bit, so wet swimming suits, dirty clothes, they can all go in. Alright, so my final tip is to bring packing cubes. I bought a whole bunch from Daiso and I will go through them shortly. I just find that again it's great for sorting out, so you're not rummaging through your luggage once you've gotten to your destination trying to find where you packed his clothes, where you packed his snacks. Everything's well contained and well sorted, so it's just quick grab and go. I also find that using packing cubes you can actually pack a bit more into your suitcase, because it does help to save a bit more space. So packing cubes. First one I wanted to talk about is this clear case here, which I got from Daiso. This is perfect for bringing liquids on board, especially when you're traveling internationally. So I just find it very handy. I'm often always using Ziploc bags, and I just find that once I use them, I throw them away, and it's just a bit of a waste. And this one here, it's also reusable, and it can actually fit quite a fair amount as well. So even if you wanted to pack a few non-liquid items in here as well, you do have the room to. Again, this is from, all of these are actually from Daiso. But this one here is perfect because it's got a little webbed pouch here. So I'm planning to pop my jandals in the slot, and then I've got his shoes here as well. So it's a very roomy one. So I think for adults you could probably fit, you know, 2 pairs of sandals or even 3 pairs of sandals. So this is perfect. It just keeps your shoes contained and separate from your clothes, so you're not popping dirty shoes directly on your clothing. And again, I used to just use plastic bags, but then I'd sort of forget which bags I'd use for dirty shoes and which bags I'd use to actually put clean clothes in. So this is reusable, and I think I've even popped this in the washing machine before. And then the next lot of packing cubes is just the standard ones that you can get. So this is quite big, and what I love about it is it's got its own little carry case, and I can also see what I've packed in here. And this last bag I wanted to show you was a drawstring bag, and I thought it's perfect for dirty clothing. You can just chuck it in here, and then when you're home, chuck it all in the washing machine. Now I'll be storing my adapters in this small pouch here. It's perfect for small items that are easily lost, as it keeps everything contained. Alright, so we will be going away for a total of 2 weeks, with about 4 days in Gold Coast and the rest in New Zealand. So for Gold Coast, I've packed a couple of t-shirts. Again, we will have access to the washing machine, but I'm not sure whether I'll be using it or not. So I've got 4 t-shirts here and 3 pairs of shorts, and that's not including the set of clothes that he will be wearing on the day, as well as I've got another set here that's going in his nappy bag as well. And then I've got his swimmers on the side here, so I've got 2 pairs and then just a swimming hat ready to go. I've also packed 2 pairs of hats, and I've got 1 terry towel here that will be going in the nappy bag, but I will also have another spare one as well. Now, because we'll be eating out quite a fair bit, I've packed about 6 face washes, because we use these instead of wipes when we're out and about, and also for bath times. So these come in really handy along with the terry towels that I've already mentioned before. And then I will bring his little knitted blanket. This doesn't take up much room, but it's perfect for him when we're out and about. It's just a little light blanket. And then I will also bring his little elephant, which he's recently become quite attached to. Now for the New Zealand part, I will be bringing a couple of thin long pants. So I've got 3 pairs here, but I've also got 1 pair in his nappy bag on the day, so that's 4. And then I've got 3 trackies, which will sort of be his nighttime PJs, because I know last time it got quite cold for him. So I've got 2 sweaters here, and they will act as his PJs for nighttime, but also when we're out and about, and if it gets a bit cold, then we can actually pop one on him. So I've got 5 long sleeves. Now there's quite a big temperature difference in New Zealand at the moment, so daytimes can get pretty warm, and then night times obviously pretty cool. So I'm not quite sure whether I will be needing all these long sleeves, and that is why I've packed 4 t-shirts, because I'm just not sure what he'll be wearing. So the t-shirts are not just for Gold Coast, but they're also for when we're in New Zealand. I've also got his bath towel here, just because I don't feel comfortable using accommodation bath towels for when we're in Gold Coast, and quite a few bibs because he is still such a heavy dribbler. And I've got another towel. This is more for me, but it's a Turkish towel, so I thought it'd be quite handy as well for when we go to the beach. I can lay it down if I need to change him in and out of his swimmers. That would become quite handy as well. So on top of the pair of sandals that he's going to be wearing on the day, I've got 2 extra pairs here. This one's here, perfect for indoors when we're in our hotel. So I've just stuck the socks in between, and that is another great space-saving hack. Because we're staying overnight in Gold Coast, I've just packed some extra nappies for that period, and also some extra wipes. Once we get to New Zealand though, we will have nappies and wipes ready for us. Alright, so I've also got our toiletry bag that I take with us. So for him, I've got his bath wash. I've also got antibacterial wipes, so these are very handy for when we're out and about, just to clean up high chairs in public. I've also got hand gel as well for when we're on the go. And I've also just got this little set we were gifted, so I thought I'll take it with us, but it's just got the baby moisturising cream and body wash, as well as a baby shower gel. Now over on this bag here is what I'm going to be taking on board. So for him, I've got his sunscreen here, insect repellent, and also his medication for when he gets bitten. So I've also got his nose sucker here, because last time when we were in New Zealand, he did get sick. And in my little mini wet bag here, I've got our forehead thermometer, because last time I left it behind, and my mum had a thermometer, but it was an air one, and it just constantly woke him up when I was checking his temperature. So I thought I'd make sure I'll bring it this time round. And also on the morning of the flight, because I've just got it sitting in the fridge at the moment, I will be bringing his Panadol. Now, this is a case that I found at Coles, which I thought was pretty handy. So on the day, I will be putting in our toothbrushes, and it just keeps it nice and separate away from all the other stuff in the toiletry bag, and can just keep it clean as well. I'm also going to be bringing these silicone food mats. We take them out quite often with us. We also use it at home, but they're perfect just because you don't know how clean the tables are, and we can often just pop food straight on this mat, and it's got a little catcher here as well. I'll also be bringing his food bibs, so he's got about 3 here. And this is a perfect little snack box. So on the day, I think when we're flying into Gold Coast, I'm just going to be packing a few peanut butter sandwiches and some apples, just for him to snack on, along with the snacks that I've just shown you. But this is also a perfect container to take overseas when you've got some leftover food, or you just want to pack a few extra snacks. It just contains everything really well, and it's easy for the little ones to open and close. I'm actually going to be bringing 2 water bottles for him. This one will be in our checked in luggage, because we will be having a couple of long days, and this one can hold a larger amount of volume. But I'm also going to bring this because this is nice and compact, so it actually sits in the side pocket of his nappy bag very well, and it's just very handy. I think this is called the drink box. And then his dummy, which we just keep in a container, and he'll have his dummy change with him on the day as well. Now on the day of the flight, because you can't take liquids on board, not so much from here to Gold Coast, but when we travel internationally, I'm going to be bringing my own water bottle, which will be empty, and I'll just fill it up once we go through customs, and that way I can also pour it into his little drink box here as well. Now I've also got this little clothes hanger given to me by my sister. It's very handy. It's velcroed on the side here, and you can wrap it around a clothes rail, and there's just tags for hanging items, which I think is very handy for when you go traveling with. So now I'll just quickly show you what I've got in his nappy bag. So I've got a backpack style, and that is why we are bringing this on board with us. We will have this as well as just a normal carry-on wheelie suitcase. So in his front pocket, I just have a little hand sanitizer. I will pop this in the clear bag when we do travel internationally. And then I've got just his antibacterial wipes, packet of tissues, and just these little plastic bags as backup. I do prefer to use my wet bags, but sometimes when I do have access to a bin, then I can pop the nappy in one of these bags and throw it in the bin. And I've got lots and lots of wipes in this nappy case. So this little wipes case is very handy. It keeps the wipes quite moist, and it's got this little pram attachment as well. Now from Kmart, I think it's Kmart, or from Chemist Warehouse, I bought these disposable change mats. So these are very handy when you're in public and you need to change your charge. You can just pop one of these down. Alright, so wet bags. Now this is what I'm going to be bringing on the day of the flight. I have packed it. So one's going to be for our flight from Gold Coast to New Zealand, and then one will just be from our flight from Cairns to Gold Coast. Now what I love about these wet bags is you can, like I mentioned before, they are so versatile. So I've got a double pocket one, so what I tend to do is pop our clean clothes in one pocket, and then the dirty clothes can either go in this other pocket if you just want to bring one, or I tend to just bring another spare one just because you never know when you'll need it, and it doesn't take up much room at all. Next up is his little snack bag. In these, he's just got these little Baby Bellies corn puffs, and I've got his organic rice rusk, which he loves. These ones he hasn't tried before, but it's a organic, I think, malt biscuit. So it's by the Babybare cookie company. And then he's got these fruit snack bars by Rafferty Gardens. And then this is another new one for him, but it's Messy Monkeys fruit bars. So this one's strawberry and apple, so hopefully he'll enjoy them. Also, when you're bringing these little pouches, I like to have a little rubber band around them, because if he doesn't finish them, then I can actually retie it and carry it around with me. Otherwise, once you open these, if you don't have a way of sealing it up, it can just create so much mess. So this is a snack pack that's actually going in his nappy bag, which we're taking on board with us or carry on. So I've packed a few activities for him just while we're waiting around in the airport, and also when we're on the plane. This one here is by Melissa and Doug, and it's a reusable sticker pad, so hopefully he will really enjoy playing with this. The next one here is also by Melissa and Doug, and it's their water reveal pad. So you just fill this brush up with a bit of plain water and they can start colouring in. And what I like about this is, particularly and also for older kids, they can help to spot these animals in the picture that they've just revealed. These next two I found on Amazon, which I thought would really keep him occupied. So this is a little activity cube, and it's got just a buckle here, it's got a zip here, it's got laces if your child's old enough to learn to tie shoelaces, and it's got these buttons as well, and just Velcros to play with. And this one here is just a cushion with these colour matching buckles that you've got to try and match. So hopefully with all these activities it will keep him occupied, and I also plan to use these when we're out at restaurants as well. Now on top of these, I haven't got it with me at the moment, I'm just going to bring some masking tape. So just rip a few little pieces off, stick it on the tray table, and he can help peel them. I've also got a little, just an old water bottle that's empty, and I'll put some pom-poms in and some poppers and some ice block sticks, and he could practice tipping them out and putting them in. So hopefully these activities are enough to keep him occupied.